1964 was a pivotal year in the history of music. The Beatles had stormed the United States, and the British invasion was in full force, forever altering the musical landscape. Elvis Presley continued to reign as the king of rock, and the world was swept up in the waves of new sounds and styles. However, beyond the legendary bands and stars, there were also songs that made a brief but unforgettable impact on the charts, only to fade away just as quickly. These tracks, often referred to as one-hit wonders, captured the hearts of millions, but for most, their names and melodies have long been forgotten. Today, we're diving into 10 one-hit wonders from 1964 that once made America sing, but have since slipped into the background. These songs were once massive hits, but they didn't have the staying power of the big names of the era. Let's rediscover these tracks and the stories behind the artists who created them.
Number 10. My Boy Lollipop, Millie Small. In 1964, Millie Small, a 17-year-old from Jamaica, introduced America to the infectious rhythms of ska with her hit, My Boy Lollipop. The song was a burst of joy, with its playful beat and Millie's youthful, sweet voice that sounded like sunshine in 3 minutes. The track skyrocketed to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, making Millie one of the first black female artists to have an international crossover hit. For many listeners, this was their first taste of Caribbean rhythm. However, Millie's success was short-lived. Despite the initial popularity of My Boy Lollipop, the music industry pigeonholed her into the role of the lollipop girl, and no follow-up could match the success of her debut. Millie never received the opportunity to grow as an artist, and her career quickly faded. Still, My Boy Lollipop remains a classic, forever linked to the introduction of reggae and ska to the global audience, and paved the way for future artists like Bob Marley.
Number 9. The Girl from Ipanema by Astrid Gilberto and Stan Getz. In 1964, a song that was both jazzy and sensual captured the essence of Rio de Janeiro and became a worldwide hit. The Girl from Ipanema, performed by Astrid Gilberto and Stan Getz, took the world by storm with its gentle, smooth melody and Astrid's soft, almost whispered vocals. The song reached number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 and won a Grammy for Record of the Year. Its exotic sound was a perfect fusion of bossa nova and jazz, with the soothing tones of Getz's saxophone and Gilberto's delicate delivery. However, despite the song's monumental success, Astrid Gilberto never fully escaped the shadow of the Girl from Ipanema. Though she went on to record more music, none of her later work achieved the same level of recognition. She became forever linked to that single song, which, while a timeless classic, defined her career in a way she could never fully overcome. Still, every time The Girl from Ipanema plays, it evokes the imagery of a warm Rio sidewalk, and the song remains an iconic piece of musical history. Number 8. Hey Little Cobra.
The Ripchords.
While surf rock was dominating the airwaves in 1964, the Ripchords introduced a quirky take on the genre with Hey Little Cobra. This track was a love letter to the Shelby Cobra, an iconic American muscle car, and it captured the excitement of the car culture that was sweeping through the country. Released in 1964, the song quickly soared to number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 thanks to its catchy chorus and upbeat energy. However, Hey Little Cobra was more than just a car anthem. It was a perfect snapshot of the mid-60s obsession with speed, freedom, and rebellion. The Ripchords, although a studio creation rather than a true band, managed to create a fun, infectious track that became a hit for the short time it was relevant. Despite its success, the group's career didn't take off beyond that track, and they faded into obscurity shortly after. Still, Hey Little Cobra remains a fun, nostalgic reminder of a time when cars were more than just vehicles. They were symbols of youthful freedom.
Number 7. Navy Blue by Diane Renee. In 1964, Diane Renee's Navy Blue struck a chord with audiences, especially young women whose partners were in the military. The song, a soft ballad about waiting for a sailor to return, reached number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became an anthem for many. The gentle, pleading tone of Renee's voice conveyed the longing and patience of a young woman separated from her loved one, and the song became deeply meaningful to its audience. Despite the success of Navy Blue, Diane Renee's career didn't take off after the song. Though she released other tracks, none could capture the same emotional weight or commercial success. By the late 1960s, Renee's name was no longer on the charts, and her musical career drifted into obscurity. Still, Navy Blue remains a poignant, timeless song that reminds listeners of the emotional toll of waiting for a loved one far away.
Number 6. GTO, Ronnie and the Daytonas. The year 1964 wasn't just about pop hits, it was also about the rise of American car culture. GTO by Ronnie and the Daytonas was a fast-paced, high-energy track that celebrated the Pontiac GTO, a muscle car that captured the hearts of teenagers across America. The song's catchy hooks and fast guitar riffs made it a perfect fit for the youth-driven culture of the time, and it rocketed to number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. However, like many one-hit wonders, Ronnie and the Daytonas never managed to replicate the success of GTO. Though the track became an iconic part of 1960s car culture, the group faded into obscurity. Still, GTO remains a nostalgic anthem for the teenage dream of owning a fast car, and it's a reminder of how much pop culture and music were intertwined during this era.
Number 5. Suspicion by Terry Stafford.
I'm still not certain that you love me.
In 1964, Terry Stafford's Suspicion captivated listeners with a voice so similar to Elvis Presley's that many thought the King had released a new song.
Why should our romance just keep on causing me such sorrow?
The deep, rich tone of Stafford's vocals, paired with the haunting melody, made it an instant hit, reaching number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. The song's success was compounded by the mystery surrounding Stafford's identity. Many radio stations and fans were convinced Elvis had secretly recorded the track. But being compared to Elvis was both a blessing and a curse for Stafford. Despite the success of Suspicion, he was forever overshadowed by the King's legacy, and no follow-up song could overcome the comparisons. Stafford never managed to break out of Elvis's shadow, and his career quickly faded after the initial hype. Nevertheless, Suspicion remains an interesting footnote in rock history, as it's a rare example of an artist who was almost mistaken for a legend.
Number 4. Just Like Romeo and Juliet by The Reflections. In 1964, amidst the chaos of Beatlemania and the rise of rock and roll, one song stood out with its simple yet poignant love story. Just Like Romeo and Juliet by The Reflections was a track that combined the innocence of youth with the ambition of a young man determined to marry his beloved. The song, a perfect blend of doo-wop and upbeat pop, captured the dreams and hopes of teenagers everywhere. It quickly rose to number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100, even managing to outshine some of the bigger names of the era. But despite the track's success, The Reflections never managed to replicate the same magic. They were a Detroit group, not signed to Motown, which made them something of an anomaly in the city of soul and Motown superstars. After Just Like Romeo and Juliet, the group failed to chart again, and their brief moment in the spotlight was over. However, the song remains a timeless reminder of 1960s youth, a snapshot of love, hope, and the promise of a future together. Even today, Just Like Romeo and Juliet continues to evoke memories of a simpler time when all that mattered was the dream of lasting love. Number 3. Ringo by Lauren Green.
lay face down in the desert sand, clutching his six.
In 1964, when the world was consumed by the fever of Beatlemania, one unexpected artist managed to make a big splash on the Billboard charts.
He mended fast, and then from dawn till setting sun, he practiced.
Lorne Greene, a Canadian actor, best known for his role as Ben Cartwright on the TV show Bonanza, surprised the world with his spoken word ballad, Ringo. The song, a Western-themed story about an outlaw named Ringo, became a massive hit, reaching #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in December of that year. In the midst of all the rock and roll, Ringo was a slow, solemn cowboy tale that somehow resonated with a wide audience. Though Lorne Greene's success with Ringo was a huge surprise, it didn't mark the beginning of a music career for him. Despite its success, the song felt like an outlier in a time dominated by high-energy rock bands. After Ringo, Greene never repeated the success of his spoken word ballad, and his musical career faded away. However, Ringo remains a unique and unforgettable part of 1964, showing that sometimes the most unexpected songs can capture the public's imagination and climb to the top of the charts.
Number 2. Popsicles and Icicles, The Mermaids. In 1964, the world of pop music was flooded with songs about love, heartache, and rebellion. But Popsicles and Icicles by The Mermaids offered a refreshing break from the usual fare. The song, with its innocent lyrics about teenage love, baseball games, and frozen treats, captured the sweetness and simplicity of youth. Written by David Gates, who would later form the band Brett, the song was performed by 3 teenage girls from Los Angeles who weren't polished stars, but simply classmates having fun with their harmonies. Released in late 1963 and carrying into 1964, Popsicles and Icicles became an instant hit, reaching #3 on the Billboard Hot 100. Its sugary innocence resonated with listeners, making it one of the most nostalgic tracks of the era. However, the Mermaids' fame was fleeting. After Popsicles and Icicles, the group disbanded, and their brief moment in the spotlight vanished as quickly as the Popsicles in their song. Despite this, the track remains an endearing reminder of the simpler times of teenage love, frozen treats, and innocent dreams. Number 1. Selfish One, Jackie Ross. Jackie Ross's Selfish One was a powerful, soulful track that became a hit in 1964, reaching number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 4 on the R&B charts. With her rich, soaring vocals, Jackie Ross delivered a performance filled with emotion and passion, bringing the song to life in a way few others could. Her voice, confident and brimming with feeling, made Selfish One stand out as one of the most memorable tracks of the year. But despite the success of Selfish One, Jackie Ross's career never truly took off. While she was initially poised to become a major soul star, industry troubles, including disputes with her record label, prevented her from reaching her full potential. No follow-up single could replicate the success of Selfish One, and by the end of the 1960s, she had faded from the spotlight. However, Selfish One remains a powerful reminder of what could have been, and a testament to Jackie Ross's undeniable talent. 1964 was a year filled with unforgettable music, some of which lives on in the hearts of those who remember. These 10 one-hit wonders were once the soundtrack to summer nights, dance floors, and young love, but their fleeting moments of stardom remind us how quickly the music scene can change. While they didn't have the lasting impact of the Beatles or Elvis, for a short time, these songs were just as unforgettable. Which of these tracks still lingers in your memory? Or had they truly slipped away into the past? Let us know in the comments below which one-hit wonder from 1964 you still remember fondly. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden gems of the 1960s, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay updated on more musical journeys from the past. We've got plenty more treasures from music history to uncover, so make sure you don't miss out on our next video.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.